Good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever it is your time zone across the world. It is Motivational Wisdom time. Today, I'm going to educate you so you can grow and lead. A fundamental principle I use in my management consulting services. We're going to start off with a scripture, as I always do, taken from Proverbs chapter 8, verse 13. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate. Today, we're going to examine the word ego and how it relates to the practical and biblical principles for spiritual growth. In essence, ego is an inflated feeling of pride of someone's superiority to others. Ego is further defined as a psychoanalysis of three parts of a person's psyche and dealing with realities, perceptions, and reactions to the external world. It is contrast with the id and superego. It is overinflated self-esteem, your consciousness of your own identity, the subject consciously considered as I by a person, myself, alter ego, death instinct, ethical self, egocentrism, self-centeredment, competition focus, and pleasure principle. In the business world, it is called ego leadership. A death-trap leadership mindset of self-centeredness and control and communicating with different levels of leadership, employees, and partnerships of a narrow point of view of success versus a servant leadership approach. The ego is a direct connection between ego leadership and the inability to justly communicate to build sustainable relationships, always strategizing how to take center stage or platforms as the superiority status. The ego controllability has both a negative and positive approach, known by the platforms, character, and messages communicated. In the context of the scripture, King Solomon left on record for all people and leadership the importance of knowing the ego, a man's pride of self, cannot be trusted and will detour a person from growth naturally and spiritually if not cultivated correctly over time. For instance, personally, I call this less of self-view. It is the ability to know greatness in a person does not take center stage always, but evaluates the impact in people's lives to build relationships, character, and avoids arrogance in the process of change. Thought to ponder. The ego, if not harnessed, is a deadly destruction of oneself, revealing the intent of the heart. This requires a retrospective view of self, not denying the marred reflection in the mirror, but reshaping the reflection to restore vigor, both natural and spiritual. At this level, it denounces self-gratification, control platforms, and evaluates the process evident through change. What lessons can be learned about ego and ego leadership? There are 5 important lessons. Discovering the truth and know how and less ego. Lessons learned about ego and ego leadership. 1. Know everyone was born with a measure of ego. given by God in life to make a positive or negative impact. No ego is a direct connection to the intent of the heart. How will I evaluate personal growth, spiritual growth, and behavioral growth? Less ego. What reflection of my heart do people really see? Self-evaluation process and behavioral management. 2. Know a person's ego unveils true character over time. It will reveal pride, arrogancy, evil ways, and the inability to tame the tongue. How will I harness the ego to denounce the pleasure principle ethics from the id? Less ego. Will I succumb to society norms transformation or spiritual transformation under the Lord? Will I choose life or death? Humility trait and behavioral management. 3. Know you can change to have an ego of honor or dishonor. How will I humble myself to hear God's instruction and His wisdom to effectively change for the greater, positively impacting lives? Less ego. Do I really inspire and empower people to dream with vision? Or is it only for a self-centered platform of control? Reflect. Past, present, and what does the future look like? Relationship leadership and behavioral management. 4. Know the superego in the natural sense plays the critical and moralized role to choose right and wrong. It reflects the internalization of culture rules, values, and morals, mainly from a parent figure applying guidance and influence. The superego, in the spiritual sense, distinct character takes a righteous and just stance, hating the very forms of evil ways. Less ego. What influences subjects my actions? Positive or negative? Character leadership and behavioral management. 5. Truth is always revealed in a person's virtue to control the ego and enact godly wisdom for greater impact in preserving human sustainability. No, godly wisdom is the only effective foundational principle for distraction versus self-gratification. How will I surrender my will to God's will? Less ego. What does my speaking, portrayal, and writing say? Positive or negative? Humility trait and behavioral management. In closing, no ego, if not harnessed and cultivated correctly, will only produce death. No, everyone has to bring the ego under subjection as instructed by God in life. No, the ego leads to all arrogance, if not controlled. No ego unveils the intent of the heart. No ego has a way of unveiling a person's true character over time. No, your ego will either be an agent of healing or hurting through change. No, it will take courage to transform the ego from the pleasure principle and self-gratification. No, if your reflection is marred, you can reshape and restore it. No, ego influences will either build positively or negatively. Remember, an environment of life is a progressive climate and culture of growth. Change your environment if needed. Change your view if needed. Change your ego if needed. Speak life, grow, and lead. You have value, you have worth, you have purpose. What ego do you have? This is Lady Cynthia Kelly signing off with Motivational Wisdom. Be blessed and stay connected to Jesus and